Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm super stoked to have you on Dinner with Frankie
It's
and
not
myself.
dinner with us, it's dinner with Tabitha.
Oh yeah, duh.
And welcome to a very special Christmas weekend edition of Fox 5 Sports Final. I'm Tabitha Lipkin. I'm not gonna brag on myself that much, but I am a little bit of an investigator. It was a star-studded event. It was electric.
Tabitha Lipkin.
Tabitha Lipkin coming up. Tabitha Lipkin.
Special guest host, Tabitha Lipkin.
So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna come out and say this.
Please.
I don't have cable,
Okay.
so I've never actually
Shocking.
seen you.
Talking, right?
So I've never actually seen you on television.
Did you know who Tabitha was before I said we should have Tabitha on the show?
No.
No.
I might whoop you.
Yes, I know.
It was funny because when we do these dinners with, they're like, throw it out there, where do you want to go to? And Tabitha gave us 3 different names.
I did. I gave you a couple of names, and I like this spot because it's new. When I came here for their soft opening, they ran out of food. There was no tortillas for their tacos.
Wow.
So they served them on rice, and it was the best. And I was like, so that means when they do have their tortillas, it's gonna be even better.
Tabitha Lipkin, born in Texas.
Yes, born and raised in Texas. So I was born in a small town, and I lived in a place called Texarkana, Texas. I was raised by my grandmother, but I was a very competitive individual. So I remember the moment I became competitive, and it was, you know, when you were in 6th grade, I don't know if that happened to you guys, but they have you run track. And they want to see how fast you can do the mile.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
I used to hate that, by the way.
I did
Did
too.
you?
I was
Absolutely miserable with that.
Same, dude. Same.
So I was the girl who finished first. Like the first time I did
Wow.
it, I finished first, and I was like, oh, that was the first time I realized I was good at something.
Wait, you-
Get a 10! Get a 10! Yes! Number 10!
Do you have any money on it?
No.
But I did play sports, and I did that whole shebang in high school, and then from there I went to school in Austin. So I claim Austin because people know where that's at.
Longhorns.
I'm a Longhorn.
Go Longhorns.
Do you play
I've got
sports
my
now?
ring. No, I was in TV in Austin, so I was a part of the TV club. I was a nerd.
Not at all. I am jealous.
Yeah. So how'd that transition into where you are now? Were you ever like a big sports fan, and that was like
I mean,
your
I
passion?
love sports.
You did?
You know, when you grew up in Texas, it's just ingrained into your culture.
For sure.
Watching sports, going to sporting events, being surrounded by fanatics of all sorts, and going to the University of Texas,
Yeah, that's
no exception. That is a huge football city.
For sure.
My route was really weird. I worked in late night TV. So I worked behind the scenes at Conan on TBS, and then the Colbert Report on Comedy Central at the
You
time.
did this at what point?
This was just before I graduated and the summer after I graduated college.
Was that in LA?
So Conan was LA and
Right.
Colbert Report was New York.
So you were bi-coastal.
I
right
went
after
between,
college.
yeah,
Intern,
Wow.
unpaid or paid?
unpaid.
Good for you.
That's a
I had
hustle.
to work like 3 jobs out of college to do my internship because I wanted to, but I wasn't paid, so I had
Yeah.
to live. And
What'd
I
you
didn't
do?
have a lot of backing. I rotated between bartending and
Nice.
waitressing at a couple of places.
When did you finally get your first paid break?
I was on TV in Palmdale, California, November of 2012.
Good for you.
There is, I think, a part of success, even though it's a small part, is luck, and I got lucky.
agreed.
I was given an opportunity. I actually moved to San Diego without a job in TV. I got an
And why San Diego?
The truth, or what I tell people? The truth is, I followed a boy here. I dated a guy for a long time,
Thank you,
and
sir.
he went to college. He got into graduate school here, so I came and followed him.
How'd that work out?
We're not together anymore, so not well.
There's a reason
Cheers
why.
to that. On that note,
Yeah.
shit.
Cheers.
Can you do me a favor? Can you look around and see if you see maybe my future ex-husband here? I need an ex-husband with a lot of money.
So I worked as a jetpack instructor for
Jetpack instructor.
Yeah.
What does that
What
mean?
is that?
I taught people how to fly those water jetpacks. That used to be really popular in
Yes,
Mission Bay.
yes,
And it starts right now.
yes.
That was my first job, and I was the only female pilot for a couple months in the
So
US.
you did that with no TV job. You just came out here, and that's dope.
Get out of
And I
here.
convinced the CW that no longer exists
Right.
to give me a job, and I was a weekend producer / I would run in front of the camera and do like quick VOs, you
Yeah,
know. I would just
for
do
sure.
like, hey, check out this scene today, blah, blah, blah. And then I'd run back and finish timing the show.
That's all. But so it's cool to hear your story that you did multiple things because people always say, man, Tabitha must have just woke up one day and she's on TV.
For sure.
You know, that's what people think. It's like, oh, that looks easy. It's so easy. And in radio, like people walk in and they're like, oh, I could jump on the air right now. I'm like, really? Go right ahead.
It's a long road.
Totally.
Here's the thing about success, and it's so true. The people who are the most successful are not necessarily the people who are the most talented, but they're the ones who absolutely never gave up.
True.
They were the most persistent. And so I can encourage anyone
Oh,
who wants to do something, just keep going.
Right.
I'm good now. Got a hold of a big avocado in there. And not that I creep on you or anything, but would you like some type of swimsuit, scuba diving, Miss America?
Yes, I was.
As you can see.
I love it.
So, I had a friend that I met through a separate thing, a contest in which they were giving away a job, like the best job in the world in Australia. That's how I set this up. She and I were final contestants for this tourist promotion thing. Neither of us got it. She went and did this Miss Scuba International pageant representing the US the year before I did. She got third place. They needed a representative from the US the next year, but couldn't hold an actual pageant to send someone, so they wanted to nominate someone. She knew me and knew that I kind of worked in TV and I did this jetpack stuff and knew I scuba dived, so asked if I wanted to go. I said yes. The only thing is, I had to be able to get my ticket to Malaysia. And at this point in time, I'm still really poor. So my grandfather used to have a boat in a boat slip next to the founders of Body Glove. And he reached out, he still knew their sons. He said, hey, my granddaughter's trying to do this thing. You know, she's really into water stuff. Maybe you guys could sponsor her. I went up and met with them, and they agreed to sponsor my ticket after our meeting. So they sponsored the ticket, and once I'm in Malaysia, everything's taken care of. And it was 2 weeks of like a real beauty pageant. So I'm competing against other girls who have...
Doing what? Like, what do you...
So
in the water or out of the water?
Both. So what they did is
Wow.
they spent a week on a resort, and you're scuba diving and talking about ocean conservation and meeting people from different organizations. And then you spend an actual week leading up to what you would imagine as a Miss America pageant is what they actually did in Malaysia. But for scuba diving, I was competing against girls who really were pageant girls, and I'd never done a pageant.
Wow.
I won somehow.
Yeah.
And with that, a lot of things happened. I started traveling because they paid for the travel, and then Body Glove, I became like a Body Glove spokesperson because part of my contract with them is they would pay for my ticket, but then I would become like the face of Body Glove for scuba divers, and that's how that happened. I've never been the hot, I was always the funny girl, not the hot girl, and something happened like 2 years ago, and I was like, I guess I'm like I'm like the 6.7 girl.
You know, PJ used to be a porn star.
I'm not laughing.
Me neither.
He used to serve
was that
sausage
porn?
Amazing
a
into
different
your
way.
name. The Big Red. It's getting hot. Yes. We're gonna be looking at your chives tonight. We can watch my porn.
Yeah, man.
What else?
That's what dinner with Tabitha becomes.
I love it. I love it.
So what's your goals like from here on? I mean, you're doing, it's so funny, we just talking about how busy you are. In the mornings, we have Fox 5 on oftentimes in the studio. It's like, oh, there's Tabitha stepping in to help host, and there's Tabitha on the streets. And no, now Tabitha's doing sports, and wait, now they send Tabitha to the middle of the desert to do, it's like no matter what, then I'll get home, you know, I go to the gym, I come back and turn on the TV, there's Tabitha doing weather. It's just like, which is so amazing, again, part of the journey, but I'd imagine at some point, you probably want to focus on one part of it. Is it sports that you like the best? Is it the hosting side that you like the best?
So my goal is to inform people through comedy.
Okay.
And so, yes, I do everything now, and I love it because I'm very easily bored. And people, news directors and other people have talked to me about this thing, and I think only Fox 5 understands, only my news director understands really how I feel about it, and that is, I like to bring people happiness through different mediums, and that sounds crazy, but if I could be like the next John Oliver or Samantha Bee or what Stephen Colbert used to do, I'd like to do that. I'd like to have my own type of late night show. I'd like to interview people of all varieties, and I'd like to make people laugh while also bringing attention to serious issues. That's the goal.
It's awesome.
And some people see it. Some people are like, oh, you don't have a background in comedy, but I could be the one who comes from a news background. And here's why I like sports. There's always really good stories to be told through sports.
Yeah.
There's always stories of perseverance and empowerment and people who thought that they didn't have a chance, but they were able to make it. And stories that give you hope are the basis of society. People are always looking for hope.
For sure.
And so sports is where you'll find it. Whereas sometimes in news, it gets a little heavy and you won't find it there.
I know something right here.
And I was gonna tell you, I didn't know if I should interrupt you, but you have something in your tooth,
No.
and I like wanted to pick it out.
Where?
It's like in your left. I'll like point my pinky towards it.
Get it.
Come on, big red.
Get it.
Still there.
It's not gonna be there.
Next one, next tooth over. Yeah, there you go. You need a toothpick.
Oh, there you go.
We need to get her a toothpick, Maddie.
Okay.
You got one on this side too. You got one on this side too now.
Do I really?
Hey, just smile. Ready? Just smile. I'll get you.
What happens when you're
Dinner
famous?
with.
Fan her down as I do. You're good now.
All right. Sweet. But as a young female, you're probably looked at even more scrutinized, I would imagine, right?
Sure, but I mean, what value is it in a viewer to constantly be scrutinizing? I think that viewers actually in general, they want to see people be successful. I am fully aware that people don't watch me on Fox 5 because they want to get sports headlines. Because if they did, no, I'm serious, because if they did, they would watch ESPN or
Totally.
they would watch Fox Sports.
Right.
They watch me because they know my personality, they know what I do in the community, and they know that I can give them a snippet of what's happening in the world quickly and in a funny manner.
Yeah.
Haunted houses, mazes, things of that nature always make me uncomfortable. Being the blonde that I am, we always know that I die first. So I get a little, on edge here.
Frankie, just have a bite, dude. God damn. Yes.
Oh my.
That was a very excited groan, wasn't it?
It actually was. I was like, okay.
I was joking, guys. Gosh.
Jeez.
It's my personality. That's why people watch this, because of that. Give a little snippet of what I eat. It's all
There
about
you
my
go.
personality. See this
You
thing?
know what makes me feel good about this whole thing is out of the corner of my eye, I can see Maddie. Sometimes he's like, yes, and other times he's like, and it gives me strength as we talk. Like,
Shout out to
okay,
producer
we're
Maddie
doing
over here
things.
making
How
some
many
things
no's did
happen.
he give us tonight?
Not many.
Okay,
There are a
good.
couple.
Like,
Yeah, tequila.
that's a beautiful thing about sitting around and having a meal with someone is
Yeah.
that you get to just shoot
Talk.
the shit about whatever.
Yeah.
And in reality, that's like what life's
That's what it is.
about,
Get
right?
to know,
Food,
get-
good company.
and you meet new people. How many times you go to dinner, right? And you know somebody, and he knows somebody, but you guys don't know each other.
Yeah, yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like, oh my gosh, girlfriend, we gotta hang out.
We're a
Girls
family
always say that to
now.
each other. Oh my gosh, girlfriend, we need to hang out more often, right?
I'm gonna say this now, girlfriend. We need to hang out more often.
P.J. Frankie, Tabitha Lipkin.
Thank you guys so much
Thanks for
for
joining
watching.
us for dinner.
Thank you, Tabitha. It was awesome.
Back to the
Thanks,
bar for
guys.
more shots.
Yeah, exactly.